Well, Bryan Cranston was certainly in it.
Hi, this is not Superman.
And this is Cute Fuzzy Weasel, and welcome to another Disjointed Talk, where we're going to talk about Godzilla.
Gozilla. So, I just got off work, so excuse me for a moment. So the thing about Godzilla, that I liked a lot about it was it definitely felt like a throwback to the original.
I'm going to be totally honest.
Yeah.
Godzilla,
Mm-hmm.
the more I've thought about it, the less I like it.
Okay. And which is the opposite for me, because the more I think about it, the more I like it.
No.
Well, it definitely was a different Godzilla movie. It was definitely unlike other Godzilla movies, because I don't think it runs in the same gambit as you could do other Godzilla movies.
I guess I should probably say what I did like.
Okay, what did you like?
I did like Godzilla.
Yeah.
I liked Godzilla, and I liked when we were allowed to see him fight.
Yeah, yeah.
When it wasn't on a TV.
Well, okay. What other things did you like about it?
I liked it when Bryan Cranston was on.
Yeah. He was brilliant in that.
I see now why they did not advertise his son very often.
Yeah.
Because that guy's acting was a lot like a plank of particle board.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to really grasp at straws here. I keep going back to Godzilla and how much I liked Godzilla.
Well, okay.
I like that he had atomic breath. That's a nice change from American Godzilla films.
Well, that's not Godzilla. It's Gino.
That's Zilla.
Well, he has two names. It's Gino or Zilla.
And I liked that, although the atomic breath, and even when I saw it in theaters, I thought the atomic breath was a little underwhelming. I thought they should have played that up a little more, because it just looked like someone had put a welding torch inside his mouth, which I thought it might be nice if it had a lot of light coming out of it, similar to how the atomic breath is done in the Toho movies.
Well, it depends on which one. Sometimes it's a little bit more underplayed. See, this is the thing about Godzilla, is that this is one thing where I'm willing to forgive a lot of things about this movie, is because Godzilla has been around for 60 years, and he's done everything from being
No. My complaints are not with Godzilla himself.
Well, this goes towards certain aspects of the movie. So just hear me out on this one.
No.
Okay,
I'm not gonna hear you out.
Well, then they will. The thing, Godzilla's been around for 60 years, and his movies have ranged from, like, you have the original, which is essentially just one incredibly extended allegory for what it's like to experience nuclear war firsthand, and is brilliant because of that. But then you have also ones like Godzilla versus Megalon, with Jaguar, where he's doing kung fu.
Yeah, but you know something about all those movies. When Godzilla is on, Godzilla's there.
Well, in the first, I think this is why I think this new Godzilla is a great throwback to the original, because Godzilla in the original doesn't show up till he's not there the whole time.
No, I know Godzilla in the original doesn't show up until way later in the movie. But when Godzilla shows up,
the focus goes to him.
The focus goes to him. The focus isn't like, here's Godzilla, and we're going to tease him. We're going to tease the reveal of Godzilla, and then we're going to cut to a TV showing bits of this cool fight, and we're not going to show it.
Well, I think that's... Well, that's why I think this movie's different, though, because what a lot of people do with this movie, which kind of I think is the wrong way to think about it, is a lot of people are comparing it to Pacific Rim. A lot of people are comparing this movie to Pacific Rim, and I don't think that's what you need to do for this movie.
Pacific Rim was good.
Well, I think both movies are good by their own merits. This movie is not This movie is not a kaiju movie. This movie is not about the monster. It's essentially a disaster movie. It's about what it's like. It's about being. It's a pretty much.
In a tidal wave caused by a giant monster.
It's about surviving. It's about surviving the monster. It's about what it's like. What it's like to be absolutely powerless. It's disaster porn.
But they weren't.
Except that they were. You notice that if you notice every single plan that the military
did
had
incompetently.
But it doesn't matter. That's like a Godzilla trope. Nothing that unless you pull out Mecha Godzilla, anytime any human decides to do anything to affect Godzilla, it fails horribly. Unless you're talking about the original, but that was after everything else horribly failed.
Yeah, but the original, it did work.
After everything else had horribly failed.
And in the original, it was a lot more personable.
Actually,
you know what? Yes, in the original, it was a lot more personable. Because I can understand, being that it was a Japanese film, from a Japanese perspective, after being nuked twice.
Yeah, and it's also
this one.
It focused on the scientists in the first one.
Yeah, and I know that scientist. He was in the whole movie.
Mm-hmm. It wasn't in the. You mean they're talking about the one played by Ken Watanabe?
And the American.
In the Bryan Cranston.
The Bryan Cranston character, who's in it for 30 minutes.
He's in it for an hour. He's in there for at least an hour, and then he's gone.
He's in it for
pretty much
probably 40 minutes.
Yeah.
He does nothing meaningful. And then his kid does everything, and his kid, is he's
a focus character, not a protagonist. Let's just say that outright. The protagonist is Godzilla.
God, you wouldn't guess it. you really wouldn't guess it. How they just kind of. The focus really should have been on Godzilla or on one person.
That was one. Yeah, I can definitely, because one of the problems with the movie is that it does shift its focus quite a bit. It does shift its focus like a lot because it's moving all over the damn place. This is a Godzilla movie where they start in Japan.
They start in Japan, then they go to.
Then they go back to America.
Actually, they don't start in Japan. They start in the Philippines.
Oh yeah, that's right. They start in the Philippines.
They start in the Philippines, establishing that. Then they have another establishing thing in Japan.
Then they go to San Francisco.
Then they go to San Francisco.
Then they go back to Japan.
Back to Japan. They go to Hawaii.
Oh wait, no, hold on. And then they go to Nevada.
Well, they go to Hawaii, and then they go to Nevada, and then they go to.
Then they go
California.
And then they head to San Francisco, he goes from Hawaii. He goes to Hawaii to Nevada to. This is not the most efficient route to travel, obviously.
No, but okay, if you're in the middle of a disaster involving a lot of big monsters, efficiency in travel's probably not going to happen. But in terms of the story...
The story didn't have...
I feel like it could have taken place in one location.
There's something to be said about that.
It didn't need to happen all over the world. With Pacific Rim, I kind of understood it, that it was happening all over the world, because it was a big global menace.
I don't think it's fair to... I really don't think it's fair to compare this to Pacific Rim.
Because this is supposed to be a character piece?
No, it's because it's a very different type of story.
Because it's supposed to be...
No, okay. So Pacific Rim is about
fighting monsters.
Yes, it's about fighting monsters. Godzilla's about we cannot fight the monster. Period. The monster's not here to help us. The monster's not here to do anything. The monster's here to fuck shit up and leave. And all we have to do,
except when it's very carefully diving under the water to avoid hitting ships with its giant back fins.
Well, Godzilla, okay, fine. Then Godzilla's about fighting the monster for us. It's not about humanity overcomes.
So Godzilla somehow knows this.
Yes.
Can't they just bring magic into it?
I think they already did.
Couldn't they just say that Godzilla's linked up? Because if they had said something like Godzilla is linked with Gaia or something, and they had gone a sort of mystical route with it...
Well, yeah, but you can't...
Or they had played up the ridiculousness of the idea of Godzilla, which is ridiculous.
Well, yeah, I mean, See, when people try to pull out the science that it's failed, I'm like, the whole concept's completely bunk anyway.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to go on the science being failed in this movie, and I said it when we left the theater, how does something metabolize radiation?
But that doesn't. But
it doesn't matter. It's just that they're there. But the thing is, they try and establish how it's.
You have to do it. You have to at least show that there's.
I know they have to show it, and they showed it. And they showed as much as I thought they needed to show, but they could have showed it. They could have showed it all in one area. They could have kept Bryan Cranston. Honestly, I kind of expected them to keep Bryan Cranston around because I was far more invested in his character.
You know, I was thinking it was a trick. I think they were lying to him about his dad being dead.
You think?
Well,
you think he's going to show up in a sequel like Marcus's dad?
No, I wasn't actually thinking like. I was thinking while watching the movie that like they tell him, "Oh no, your father's dead. You need to go home." And then the next thing you know, and then the next scene where after he's like on the helicopter out, they go into like an interrogation room. There's Bryan Cranston looking just fine.
That might have actually made the movie better.
Like that.
Actually, you know what would have made the movie better is if they had lied, and then it's established like. At the end of the movie, perhaps after the credits, which is where people put all the cool sequel bait now.
Yeah.
If they had Bryan Cranston sitting there and he was like, "This was absolutely necessary," and the Japanese guy was there and he's like, "Yes, you must be around and help us with Project X or something."
So what? They're gonna make Monster X and they're gonna remake Destroy All Monsters with King Ghidorah?
Why not?
Well, the director has stated he would actually love to do a remake of Monster Island.
See, if they had done that,
I think at this point now,
then I would have understood. But it feels like they had Bryan Cranston, and they totally wasted Bryan Cranston.
Well, no, they didn't waste it. They put him They put him on all the damn posters, and they put him in every single trailer.
They put him in everything.
They didn't waste him. They didn't waste him at all.
They wasted him in the movie. They didn't waste him in the advertisement. This is almost like if they had advertised the movie as Godzilla, and then
Mothra shows up,
and then Godzilla never showed. Godzilla was like in the 1940s news stuff, and then at the end of the movie they say, "What's that?" And it's this thing rising up out of the water again.
But it's not even Godzilla. It's
some other monster. But
it's Anguirus.
But if it'd be like if all the Godzilla stuff was all like shots from Godzilla at the like last 5 minutes of the movie, like Rhino, like the guy in Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, but at the same time that's another.
Is it not fair for me to compare Spider-Man 2 and Godzilla? I don't think it's fair.
I don't think it's fair. See, I'm okay with Spider-Man 2 was at most just okay. It suffered. But Amazing Spider-Man 2 was okay. Like, it was aggressively mediocre.
At most, Spider-Man 2 was the cause of the stomach virus that I got shortly after watching it. At best, Spider-Man 2 is...
the actual virus.
Is stalking me and watching me when I sleep, slowly carving notches into its flesh with a Bowie knife, going, "It's gonna listen to me. It's gonna listen to me." Oh, I'm sorry. This is Spider-Man 2. What am I thinking? It's is mein Listen to
the German dude.
I couldn't read it, Strudel.
If the German guy ruins it for you, can we talk about how dumb Electro was? With dubstep?
Yes, the dubstep fruit.
He talks through dubstep.
They should have played that up.
Like, yeah, like I feel this movie wanted to be dumber and like more ridiculous, and some executive head was like, no.
When your movie's not being written by Joss Whedon, don't try it. Don't try and act like the movie's written by Joss Whedon.
You're not Christopher Nolan. You're not Joss Whedon, and don't try to play So, because I felt this was like a mix between. It felt like it was a mix between if Christopher Nolan and who was the guy who did Joel Schumacher from Batman Returns, the one with the Joker. I mean, not the one with Joker,
the one with bat nipples.
The one with the Riddler. Oh yeah, and Batman
and
Robin.
Bad Nipples.
Yeah, it's like if they wrote one half of of each other's movie and then got together and they had Max Landis have to look at the middle of it and go, oh
more like every other page. like Christopher Nolan wrote it and it's like, okay, Joel. Oh.
And then Max Landis looks.
Here's yours. Blood, death, despair, horror, needlessly horrible.
Politics.
But politics and bullshit. Nipples. and then vomit, but it's funny.
and then of course, like someone with half a brain looks at it. And
no, not someone with half a brain. They put it into a word processor, and
they turn word check on.
They leave the rest of it up to the paperclip, and the paperclip looks at it and goes, "Oh, I see you're trying to write a movie. Would you like me to help?"
They later find the computer on the side of the Golden Gate Bridge. They have to talk it down.
Nah, don't worry. They don't have to do that because it's the same computer that writes all of Adam Sandler's scripts for him.
So they just have to keep it fun. They have to keep it cooled down with vodka.
Yeah.
Just no.
What's wrong with it? It smells like shit in this room. Oh, it's the computer. Yeah, we have to give it a fresh supply of turds every day for it to continue to crank out scripts.
I believe that there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things Amazing Spider-Man 2 could have done that would have made it better. There's some things that you just could have dropped.
I think we have to take this back for a second here, and let me kind of caveat everything that I've said by saying that I don't think Godzilla is a bad movie. I just don't think it's a particularly good movie. I think if you compare it to 1999, it is a far superior film.
They're definitely better.
And I definitely care about the human characters much more.
Yeah.
And this Godzilla could totally kick Zilla's ass.
Well, yeah.
Actually, I think this Godzilla could probably just step on him.
He's 355 feet tall.
So probably.
And Zilla's only about what, 200? Zilla's over 100 feet tall.
Yeah, but compared to like Godzilla,
he's still not bigger than Godzilla, just like proper Godzilla. Like in Final Wars, he
gets knocked into the Sydney Opera House by the tail.
Oh no, he gets atomic breath into it.
No, he gets knocked into it with the tail, and then Godzilla just fires atomic breath at him while he's lying there.
So you think they're just gonna make another remake of Destroy All Monsters with this Godzilla?
I think so. I hope so.
I mean, because
But let me get back to what I'm saying. I don't think it's a bad movie.
I think it's worth your money.
I just think it's just slightly better than RoboCop. Actually, I think it's a full point higher than RoboCop because right now, I think it's a couple of points higher than RoboCop. Because RoboCop again, since I've been thinking about RoboCop more often recently, and because I just finally sat down and rewatched the original on Blu-ray. I got the special Blu-ray thing. It was only $7.99. It was the only copy in Walmart. Mm-hmm. I finally sat down and really rewatched that because I haven't seen it in a couple of years.
Yeah.
After rewatching that and thinking about the remake was horrible.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
Yeah, I defended it, but I'm kind of in the same boat because I recently rewatched it.
I mean, it was.
It definitely loses a lot of
horrible. I don't even think I can say horrible enough.
Well, then let's go back to Godzilla.
But okay, being that I think Godzilla is much better than RoboCop now that I think about it. It's damn. I'm trying to think. Jesus, I think RoboCop and Spider-Man 2 are in the same field here.
No, Spider-Man 2. I don't think Spider-Man 2 is that bad. Spider-Man 2 was.
Spider-Man 2 may not be that bad because at the very least we get to see some of the Spider-Man villains that we haven't gotten to see before on the main screen. Well, and through that novelty alone.
What it does right, it gets right in spades. What it does right.
Will you defend the web hand?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, totally. Because that's
You will
actually
defend the
because
webpan.
that is a throwback. That is an actual throwback to the frame in which that into the frame. That is an immediate throwback to that actual issue.
And that automatically makes it good.
There is something to be said about artistic license, and if you're talking about Spider-Man, I can accept the web hand. I can totally accept the web hand. I can accept the
Just,
web.
you've heard it here. This is probably the only person I've seen on YouTube that will defend the web hand.
Oh, okay, yeah, and you want me to side with motherfucking Angry Joe saying that Godzilla is the worst movie of the summer? No, fuck
No. Angry Joe did not say that Godzilla was the worst movie of the summer. He just got angry at it, which, oddly enough, I seem to remember you complaining that Angry Joe was not as angry as he usually was, and you wish he would go back to being angry.
I'm also pissed that the Angry Video Game Nerd doesn't have as much piss and vinegar in him anymore.
Well, the Angry Video Game Nerd's a father.
He has a kid now?
Yes.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he's grown up. He has a life now.
So I'm guessing that the movie is kind of rendered bunk now that they actually found the E.T. landfill?
No, I think.
But that's the whole plot of the movie.
Yeah, but it was in the exact same place. It was where they expected it.
But
yeah, I know it's the plot of the movie, but there's more to it than that.
I know, but
Think of it this way: the man who started out in 2005 making internet reviews of games that at the time had been out for more than 20 years, that idea for that show has now evolved into a movie that is being shown in theaters.
that's impressive.
That is impressive.
But
And he did it with less funding than MST3K.
This is true. But going back to
Godzilla, I know disjointed talk. Okay, disjointed talk. But going back to Godzilla, I don't think Godzilla is a bad movie. In fact, I think you should see it in theaters because
it's a spectacle.
it's a spectacle when Godzilla's on screen. I will give the movie props, and I don't normally do this for movies, because they have nothing in them. But I will give Godzilla props for the fact that between monster scenes, there is plenty of time to pee. So bring your drink, bring your popcorn. Hell, if you have to go number 2, there's plenty of time, and it's in just the right areas. There's time at the beginning. Like if you got in there and you forgot to pee and you sat down, it's like, oh man, I've got to pee. Oh wait, they got through all the stupid exposition. I can go pee now, and then you'll come back right in time to see the Muto. And then afterwards, if you say you've done it, and then you've been drinking a lot, and you'd be like, oh man, I gotta pee, and it's almost the middle of the movie. Don't worry. You've got 15 minutes to go pee. and then if you come back and you've seen the middle, and they're getting to the end, and you're like, oh man, I gotta pee, but I don't want to miss the ending. Don't worry, because you've got 20 minutes to go pee. And then you can come back right in time to see the ending, and then even during the ending, there's a 4-minute stretch in the ending where you could go pee if you have to. And that is so rare for movies to be both having good points in the movie that you definitely want to see and having time for pee. In fact, I think that theaters now...
This could be a new trend.
Theaters should have in a corner a little light or a little sign that says, you can pee now if you want to. And a little counter to interesting parts in the movie. Like in select theaters, if they got all the guys together and they sat down, it's like, okay, from .23484 to .34812, that's pee time. We'll just put the counter up there, and after Godzilla after they're done showing Godzilla on the television, the counter would start. Because, let's be clear here, the dude, Bryan Cranston's son, and his family are totally meaningless.
Yeah, actually,
Bryan Cranston spends, 6 minutes with his actual kid? Maybe less.
Bryan Cranston's character?
Not Bryan Cranston. I keep forgetting Particle Board. Particle Board spends at least 4 minutes with his kid.
Right, I actually didn't get to see that because I was getting popcorn.
Yeah, but don't worry, you didn't miss anything.
Exactly.
They barely establish the kid as someone we should even care about if they get crushed.
Yeah, the kid just kind of just stands there, just looks into the abyss.
He's awful.
But he's adorable.
When Godzilla's when the risk of the city being wiped out and everyone's going around,
he just stands there.
He's got this expression.
Dinosaur, mommy.
He's got the same problem that the kid from RoboCop had. Dad shows up and he's basically a pair of lungs and a head inside a robotic suit. He just comes in and is like, "Oh, you're different. You can touch me if you want. I will.
But then there's...
You are cold and made of metal.
And you are my son.
I recorded baseball games.
Definitely.
Let me throw you into the air. We, Dad.
Which one is the robot? There's definitely a problem with I'm definitely seeing the kids are not getting...
The wife is also completely useless. Here's what I expected. I expected, like, a bunch of soldiers to be in the city and have a scene where one of the soldiers gets hurt and the wife runs out of the shelter and she's like, "I got you!" And
being a nurse and doing
and actually doing
instead of running.
Instead of being in the movie for what, 20, maybe 20, and that's not her alone. That's her with other people.
Yeah,
her
she doesn't
alone.
like if you had turned this into you could have done with this movie, which I think would have helped it immensely. So this is me saying you should watch this movie. This is me saying you should go watch this movie.
Yeah, again, we are saying you should watch this movie. I'm just saying there's plenty of pee time.
Well, one of the things that would make this movie better, because there's something. Disaster movies, I have a big problem with certain disaster movies. Most disaster movies, in fact, because a good disaster movie...
And some are better than others.
There are plenty that are better than others.
Towering Inferno is leagues above 2012. Right,
and the reason because of that is because it shows ordinary people, or just, the people who do risk their lives on a regular basis and train for these disaster things... doing their job. And the thing is we know that they're doing that in the Godzilla movie.
We know because
we're told that.
We are.
But what you could have done incredibly well is if you showed them.
Yeah, it's a movie.
And you made them characters.
Yeah.
You made them, because if you had showcased, if the movie, because that's one thing the Godzilla movie does, I think, fairly well in the original in 1954. Is it shows how...
Yeah, it showed a lot of civil defense guys.
Yeah, it showed, and that's something that kind of carries over throughout the entire series, is it shows people get used to these disasters. In Godzilla Tokyo SOS, there's like when Godzilla shows up, there literally is not a single surprised face in the entire city.
But another thing, I mean, and I can tell they were trying to do this in between the parts that...
What I'm saying is you could have shown.
Yeah, you
ordinary people.
You could have shown people.
You could have shown people be heroes.
You could have shown people be heroes, and not just particle board somehow miraculously surviving.
Just victims. What you're saying are victims.
Yeah, that was another thing the original Godzilla movie had. They had rows of dead people.
Well, the thing is that they don't. For one, they don't show. It's an R-rated movie, and there's how many dead people on screen? No, they definitely show death, but they don't linger on it at all.
Wait, Godzilla's rated R?
I thought it's rated R. It better.
I don't think it's rated. I think it's rated PG-13.
And I can believe both of those things.
I don't see how it's rated R. I mean, I'm really struggling. I don't even...
It probably is rated.
I can't even think of any blood. Was there blood?
Alien blood. Monster blood.
That doesn't count.
True.
But was it...
No, it's PG-13. You're right.
Yeah. Unless someone at the ratings agency just had a really bad day that day. Are you sure this should be rated R? Yeah, it's rated R! Give me more booze.
I was in an earthquake, man. You don't know.
I was attacked by an iguana. You think I like seeing this?
I think there's... If you'd shown the sort of thing about surviving, but not just surviving, you should have... What made this movie stronger in a thematic sense, even with as little, even if you lost on characterization, if you showed people
Yeah, people being people.
Being like people doing everything they can. I mean, yeah, okay, you saw the hospital, like, you know.
Yeah, you saw the hospital, and you
saw the bus. Like, I think the scene.
The bus driver.
That guy should have gotten a fucking medal for what he does, because there's a scene when they're on the Golden Gate Bridge.
They're all congested.
They're all congested, and the cops have made a blockade
because the military's moving tanks in.
Right, but.
And the bus driver, he sees all the shit going down.
Then he sees Big G's spines, and it just clicks in his head. He's like,
I'm on a bridge. There's a thing that can knock down I should get off the bridge.
And so he decides to say, fuck the police, and he just drives through the blockade, and everyone behind him goes with it. So now there's this mad dash behind him.
I did not use I did not use the stereotypical voice. Just so you know.
Fuck the police.
He is black.
Oh, whatever.
You do. Yeah, I'm just saying.
I didn't. Okay, whatever. He said fuck the police. He just goes right through the blockade, and everyone behind him just starts going through. And because of that moment, he guarantees the safety of every kid on there, plus hundreds of people.
If you want to make a case for incompetence, the police and the military really they're evacuation buses.
Whenever have the military ever until they start building fucking robots, or have just gotten used to being destroyed by Godzilla.
That's gonna be a cool crossover if it ever happens.
It would
be awesome to see Godzilla and a Jaeger team up to fight a Category 5.
Just Mechagodzilla versus Godzilla.
Hey, that could be the movie right after that.
Or Jet Jaguar. Or both of them.
Yeah, they could establish Jet Jaguar.
Well, it sounds like a Jaeger name. It sounds like
a Jaeger.
Yeah.
And then have an interdimensional thing where all these different universes open up, and there could be Cthulhu.
And Godzilla versus Cthulhu.
And then
I'd watch it.
And then Godzilla would come up and.
See, that's the thing about when I say. Here's the thing. I could watch Pacific Rim. I could watch that movie
all the time.
Yeah, I could not watch this movie. Maybe.
I would if I watch the movie again, I will. If I watch the movie again, I'm just gonna skip. I'm just gonna skip to the end.
Yeah,
or to the parts that I want.
It's a movie that you like. Okay, watching the movie once. This is definitely a movie that's better to watch in theaters, anyways.
Yeah, because there are some things like when Godzilla roars, they got the roar right.
It feels natural
because it's the original roar.
It's modulated heavily, but it still feels right.
Yeah, but it's still that original recording. Toho gave them that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's one of the few things they gave them.
They definitely took it. Do you think this Godzilla will show up in a Toho movie the way Zilla did?
Well,
I mean, this Godzilla's a little harder to make in 5 minutes.
Okay, well, the thing about... So, okay. I think the one thing, it's not just Toho, it's Tsuburaya Productions.
Okay.
Tsuburaya, or if I'm saying it right, but they want to have a more stronger Western audience anyways. Okay. So they're talking about bringing Ultraman over to the States again.
Okay.
And there's rumors of a movie, but I doubt there's going to be a movie. Ultraman's kind of a hard sell in movies. But I don't think what you're going to see is, I don't think you're going to see something like Zilla, like him showing up in like a Final Wars-esque thing where it's just like the original Godzilla versus this one. I don't think it's going to be like that. I think it's going to be more like, this is what Godzilla looks like now. This is the Godzilla now. This is in this continuity. This is that Godzilla, because there's multiple Godzilla continuities.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And this is called the Legendary Godzilla universe.
It is?
Because of Legendary Pictures.
Oh. So
it's called the Legendary one, which is
Okay.
I mean, it sounds right, and so they think that
the trilobites.
I think that works. I think it's fine if this Godzilla kind of stays as this Godzilla and has its own sort of mythos built up around it.
Did he seem cute to you?
He seemed human in certain ways, and that works for me. Godzilla always seems very human in ways.
Because to me, the way they designed the snout and everything,
yeah, Godzilla he
looks sort of bear-like.
Oh, he also looks sort of whale-like.
I'm getting more bear from him.
Yeah, I'm getting that.
And I mean, from the face, I'm just saying that Godzilla looks kind of cute.
I saw that.
I think it's because the eyes are bigger.
Actually, they're smaller.
They look bigger to me. I mean, I guess no, they are smaller.
They are much smaller.
But it's because it's CG.
But they're much more expressive now.
Yeah, I don't know. There's something about this Godzilla to like you look at him and it's not exactly terrifying.
No, he's not, and I think that's one thing that worked well is that he's also very relatable. Like when they were describing him, he sort of has this grizzled veteran look to him because he looks like.
Well, if you eat radiation, you can live forever. So he's.
But he looks old. He
looks like he's many billions of years old.
So he's got these, but he's also like if you noticed in that last shot, like when you see him laying down, like when he's knocked out and he's like only opening his eyes, it just looks like he's just absolutely exhausted, and you see all the cracks and shit on his face.
Well,
you finally get a proper look at his face. And he sort of smiles. I
gotta wonder how many people, though, got radiation poisoning from it.
Well, he absorbs it. I don't think he radiates. I don't think he is.
You think it's more like lead?
Yeah, he just straight up eats it up. Like he just passively eats it up.
I'm just thinking. To me, something that eats radiation should itself be fairly dangerous to simply stand next to.
Well, no. If you notice that the
Mutos eat bombs.
They eat radiation. They just straight up eat radiation. That's why, remember, because they were walking through that power plant and there's literally no radiation.
That's something about it that I thought of immediately when they showed the Muto eating the reactors out of the sub. And this is something I thought they were going to do.
What?
Because they were going for the crank timer. I thought they were going to go, okay, we're going to put this nuke out.
Give it to Godzilla.
We're going to give it a timer. And we're just going to put it right there, and the Muto's going to eat it. And it's just going to blow him up.
Well, you know what I was thinking? Because I knew that was going to fail, because it's a Godzilla movie, and anytime any human comes up the plane that doesn't involve bringing another monster in the fight, it fails.
That's what I like about Pacific Rim, too.
Humans... Well, because that was more about humanity... Someone described it as, Pacific Rim is about humanity punching the hurricane. Godzilla's about the hurricane coming and ruining your shit.
Yeah, that's why I like Pacific Rim.
Yeah, then
honestly, I find Pacific Rim a lot more believable.
Well, there's a bit of a different tone. There's a
from just. I mean, it may be a different movie philosophy, but to me, I prefer Pacific Rim because Pacific Rim is to me more believable. Not because I think giant robots can be built, because clearly they can't. Unless they're made of a material as yet undiscovered, or they have some sort of anti-gravity properties, i.e. Gundam.
Yeah, the Minovsky particle.
Yeah, but it's because, yes. I mean, it's that whole thing. It's what the Japanese dude says about nature and everything, and I just think that's patently false.
Yeah, it's the whole...
Because time and time again, humans actually have affected nature greatly, and we continue to do so.
Yeah.
And, I mean, if you want an example of us wrecking nature, the Dust Bowl.
Yeah.
That was all our doing before we even knew. And so the whole thing, like, you cannot control nature, actually, we could.
We did. We do.
And we do. We call them dams.
I think...
yes, sometimes dams fail, but for the most part, they don't.
I think it's... Well, for one thing, there's Godzilla is there to humble us.
Okay, Godzilla's there to humble us, but then again...
Pacific Rim is not about being humble.
But then again,
Pacific Rim is about, I've got a giant-ass robot...
If Godzilla can exist, then Jaegers can exist.
I guess
if you can have a giant thing that big, if we're ignoring that fundamental law of physics, then we can also build giant robots.
I guess that's fair. I would accept that. I would totally love for that to happen. But if I'm looking at this movie from its merits, for what it sets out to do, I think it accomplishes those things.
Although I guess if you look at Pacific Rim, it's it's not even really about people beating back nature because the monsters were being
No,
made by aliens.
It's us beating up guys who want to beat us up.
Yeah.
Someone's kidnapped President Ronnie. The dragon ninjas have kidnapped President Ronnie, and we have to become bad enough dudes to stop them.
Yeah, and with giant robots.
With giant robots.
With big giant robots.
But that's the thing, is that it's two very. That's why I don't like comparing the two. I'd love to see them coexist.
That would be awesome.
It would be, but I can talk all day about that. But really, these two movies are two very, very different movies. They have a very different point. Whether or not those points are valid.
Okay, it's we've been going on. I don't know how long we've been going on.
It doesn't matter. It's a disjointed.
I know it's a disjointed talk, but it's also late at night.
Well, my final word on it is that go see Godzilla.
Go see Godzilla.
But I would suggest I like the movie. I think it's a good movie. I think it could have been. I think it could have been much better, and still retain its message.
I think it's passable. I think it's a 6 out of 10. It's above average in areas. It's below average in areas.
I give it a 4 out of 5.
I think that's a little generous. If we were going on a 5 scale, I'd maybe give it a 3.2.
I give it a 4 out of 5. That's on me. That's me though.
4 out of 5 is like fantastic. It's just a few levels below greatness.
Yeah, because it didn't. Because what they needed to do.
Were major revisions of the storyline.
No, not really.
Yes, really. Yes, really.
And that's
completely getting rid of several characters that are completely needless. Rearranging the events.
Once again, my opinion, I give it a 4 out of 5.
And redoing fight scenes. I think you're being far too generous.
No, I give it a 4 out of 5.
Is this like how you gave RoboCop a 7 out of 10? Actually, I think you gave it an 8, didn't it?
No, I gave it a 7.
You gave it a 7?
I was being generous on that 7, though.
Sure.
But no, I give it. This is me after going about and thinking about it. I give it a 4 out of 5.
6 out of 5. Or 5.6.
Wow.
6 out of 10. 6 out of 10 or 5.4 out of 10.
I give it a 4 out of 5.
And but miscellaneous points that I just realized we didn't go over. 1, everyone in the army is a total douche to that kid.
But no, they're not.
Yes, they are, because think about it. Throughout that whole ordeal, he's wearing the same vest. He fell off the train in the vest. He's been wearing that vest for 3 days. No one thinks, hey, that vest is all ratty and torn up. Here, you want a new one?
Well, hold on. With the literal lizard guy just kind of banging. Do you really think they're thinking about this guy's vest?
You really think they're not?
Yes, I can.
No, I think they are. I think it's like, yeah, we're gonna. I know you just got done falling off of a thing, and we're gonna make you jump down into storm clouds. We should probably make sure that you're wearing a new vest. One that's probably going to protect you should anything hit you.
From what?
Debris. Yes, debris.
But
more dangerous than bullets in many instances.
What?
Sonic debris, pieces of shit if it explodes, which happens several times. And number 2, the kid's a Terminator. The kid's a robot.
The kid made it through.
He falls off of a bridge at a height that would have killed someone.
You mean the robot? You mean the
when the train collapses?
Oh yeah.
He would have died. That's too far. Even cliff jumpers would have looked at that and gone, no. There's no guarantee that the bottom of that river was deep. He should have fallen in, and if he didn't get turned to putty when he hit the water, he should have been killed when he hit the surf, when he hit the bottom. Then, he survives being knocked out in a river.
The guy has plot armor for days.
And then, he survives a gas explosion.
I think there's only one other American in any.
And then he survives getting hit in the face with a big thingy.
There's literally one other American in any Godzilla movie that possibly matches that, and that's Don Fry's character from from Final Wars, who goes at Godzilla with the fucking samurai sword.
So the kid's a robot. He's a robot.
He has to be.
Number 3, why did no one ever think to get a crowbar or some piece of debris to pry it open?
Oh, you mean the bomb?
Because they're all like going at it with their hands, but it's steel. Sure, not one of them thought, hey, here's a rod.
Plot.
Okay.
Plot.
Number 4, the timer would have not survived that.
Plot.
They're all going to be answered by plot. Number 5, how did the fuck did that ship get far enough away for a 30 megaton nuke to go off in 13 minutes? Was it going Mach 2? Plot.
No. In the sequel, it's gonna be revealed, right? That the two alien midget twins from Mothra were doing their dumb psychic powers or something.
That thing should have vaporized San Francisco. A 30 megaton bomb should have vaporized it should have at least knocked down that helicopter. I guess I would accept it if you could argue that maybe he was knocked out and they had some other guy go down there and get, okay, I got it.
Well, no, he already set the boat. He had already set the boat to start moving.
I know he had set the boat to start moving, but he had 13 minutes, and unless that boat was going 400 miles an hour, that's a 30 megaton nuke. Those things have a 25-mile immediate blast zone, and then there's fallout.
Well,
no.
I think Godzilla absorbed all the fallout.
All the fallout magically drifted towards Godzilla.
Yeah, totally.
All of it.
Yes.
You don't know how nukes work.
No.
Okay.
Neither does the audience.
I know.
Okay.
I know how fallout drifts.
Okay, but
saying Godzilla absorbed all the radiation is like saying if we have a chunk of lead and we have a bomb next to it, the bomb goes off.
Godzilla's clearly magic. See?
Godzilla's magic, so he magically absorbed all the strontium and fucking uranium dust.
Yeah, totally.
That otherwise should have turned the vast majority of that section of the West Coast into a habit zone.
Yeah. That's why he doesn't die at the end. See, because
I guess number 6 would be the Japanese designed a nuclear reactor with no secondary or internal blast door.
That was Bryan Cranston's fault there.
Bryan Cranston's an idiot. Because think about it. If there's a breach, maybe you should have a little cutoff door where they're inside the hallway and they can go from inside and not have to run 5 miles, it seems like.
Yeah, they were running for a while.
To go or have safe rooms within it, like locked vaults that are made of 4-foot lead bricks.
Yeah,
they could have all gone. I mean, I'm just saying that seems like a very unsafe nuclear reactor.
We can blame Bryan Cranston. Or we can blame Gary Chalk, who shows up in it. Who did he call? Gary, in the beginning of the movie, the other American at the nuclear.
Oh, that dude.
Who is the voice of?
I don't know. I didn't even recognize Gary Chalk.
Well, he was in Stargate as the Russian guy.
He's put on quite a few pounds since then.
In years. He also was the voice of Optimus Primal from Beast Wars.
I thought, he looked taller than I remember him.
He's actually a pretty tall guy. Bryan Cranston's kind of a short guy.
Well, hi Jesse. I'm so glad they took advantage of Bryan Cranston's character to get all the actual emotional feels out of the way.
Yeah.
So they could get to his son particle board.
Actually, if they had killed him, if they had shown him dying.
If they had killed particle board.
Well, no. If they had listen. I think Bryan Cranston's death would be much more impact if it didn't just happen off screen.
I think Bryan Cranston's death would have been much more impactful if it was much more significant.
Yeah, if it didn't just happen.
Yeah, because they kind of just threw away Bryan Cranston. I mean, they didn't, but they did. They totally did. But they totally didn't, but they totally did. Yeah,
I mean, he's literally top billed in this movie.
He's on the poster, isn't he?
He's top billed right under Godzilla and Ken Watanabe.
And he's in there for less than half the movie.
Yep. What happens when you make a good TV show?
I wonder.
It's like how Charlie Sheen was top billed in the movie, but shows up for less than 10 minutes.
Or
What's his face?
The dude who played Fox. The one who sounds like this. He was in the Lego Movie. He was in the Shawshank Redemption. Holy crap! I can't. Morgan Freeman. Like how Morgan Freeman was in Oblivion, but he was in Oblivion for 15 minutes. But he was in the trailer all over the place.
Yeah.
You know, if you're going to use a character in your trailer, you can.
If you're in it, well, hold on. If it's a Tom Cruise movie and Morgan Freeman makes up for most of your trailer, there's a problem.
Is there?
Yeah,
Morgan Freeman is far superior to Tom Cruise.
This is true, but you need to bank on your main character.
Anyway, that's a Disjointed Talk. Go see the movie. Just bring a drink. Don't worry, you'll have plenty of time.
Go see the movie.
In fact, take your time. You can even walk there.
Go see the movie, but don't go in expecting Pacific Rim.
Don't go in expecting Pacific Rim, and don't go in expecting any of the human characters beyond Bryan Cranston and possibly the Japanese dude to make you care.
Yeah, but damn, they actually do a good job.
They managed to make me not care about the dog.
That was rough.
Because the dog is just there. Oh! Post in the comments below if you want me to hit him.